In the previous lesson, we worked on an exterior render and we use many effects that we can apply to improve or just enhance the scenario on our exterior. So we can create like really groomy, creepy in a way scenarios or atmospheres using also the fog. So we started with simple settings like the natural light with the sun and the sky system, and then we continue by changing in the many ways the render by applying different effects, and especially we worked with the fog, so the aerial perspective fog and the environment fog, which also can create volumetric effect with the lights. And also here I've applied some grass. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off in the world VRAY node editor here, where I can handle the effects of the environment. I'm going to turn off the fog because right now we're going to do some more examples. And I want to also get out of the camera. So we're not using the physical camera. We already explained that once we are in a physical camera, we're going to do something that is really similar to real cameras in the real world, in the physical world. So once you are outside, you have a different type of exposure, different type of settings. So in the generic 3D view, let's say. Okay, now when you do exterior renderings as well as interiors, you may want to add more assets to enrich the scene. And again, for exterior, we can add a V-Ray fur for the grass, we can add people, we can add cars, we can add vegetation. And sometimes you have large surfaces you want to cover, and in this case, I suggest you can use a modifier that is in Blender and it's called scatter and on surface. So this modifier will help you to distribute objects, so multiplying, copying, and making multiple copies of assets that you want to multiply. So first time you're going to apply it, you will see a series of boxes that are, let's say, proxies for the object that you're going to decide you're going to put in there. So my suggestion is, since this is really light and not heavy, you can just first work on the density, the distribution, and the scattering of this object, and then decide which object you want to scatter around the surface. Now, this modifier and others are also treated in the Blender video course if you want to know more about add-ons of Blender and so on. So now I'm taking an object that I want to distribute or scatter, multiply, and I've chosen the tree. So be careful on the density because this will increase the render time and the heaviness of the scene in really a small amount of time. So if you do this with something too heavy, it could get you a crash or something, could break everything down in a way. Okay, first of all, we can scale the object, and of course the suggestion is keep the scale uniform so that you don't stretch the asset. And then you can also do random variation. So if you check here in the panel, you will find the randomness of the offset, of the rotation, and of the scale, the rotation, and that's it, and the movement. But be careful how you rotate it, because right in this case you probably want to only rotate it on the Z. You don't want to use the other two axes, or if you use it just slightly. And then you can do scale uniformly, or you can scale according to axes, etc., etc. Now you can repeat the operation with other assets, for example, rocks or bushes, or things that usually tend to be found in nature, in the wild nature. So you can put, other flowers and small trees, tall trees, anything that you find in the cosmos that you think it's good. So first of all, again, you drop in the first assets. You can see this rock is pretty small right now, so I want to make it bigger. And so one option is just go with one and then copy it many times, which it's more time consuming if you have large surfaces to cover. The other way is try to decide on which surface you want to distribute the object and go with the scatter. So that's gonna help you save well a good amount of time. So you can see here I'm positioning the rock into that garden, and that's going to be like the starting object. And also here, I put the grass intentionally only on this part of the ground because according to my view, you know, I don't need really to see the grass distributed on the whole surface. So I just cut a piece of that surface, and in there I also put the grass effect. So it's just a way to limit the heaviness of the scene. And scattering, it's pretty cool, but also it's pretty heavy. So try again to use it intelligently and don't abuse it because eventually it's going to be too much. But as long as you can move nice and without waiting too much time in the viewport, it means that your machine is fine with it. Your graphic card, it's it's okay with that. Now also you can click on the list when you are selecting the object you want to select, and you can see that I selected the rock from the list. You can also search in the object slot, but now it's too small, so I just need to increase it a little bit, and there it is. So it's already kind of randomized, but you can randomize it more by changing again the values in the random section here. So especially the rotation, that's probably the best one you want to use. Well, in this case it's a rock, so you can try also rotate it on the X, the epsilon, and the Z. Just be careful where the origin is, because otherwise they will look like they are floating on the surface, so not really good. So you need to see where the origin is. That's the most important part of the object. And you can see there also the difference between the grass, which is like 50 centimeters long, and the rest of the surface. Now, if I go in the view here, I can change the camera field of view, which is again the camera we use in the viewport. And also, if we go into solid mode or wireframe, we can also use cuts or clipping. So we can clip things that are too near or too far. But that won't be visible in the render when we render here. We need to do something else that I will show you later. But also I want to show you here the stored views add-ons. This is an add-on. Again, it's covered also in the Blender video course because it's a really useful add-on that will help you to create views right away and to store them and to select them to move into the active cameras, etc., etc. So I go all the way down here. You can see the store views. I need to initialize it, and now all I need to do is just change the camera in the view, and then I can either move the camera, an existing camera, to the view, or I can just create a new camera in the position where I'm at. The only thing that changes is the field of view, so it's now more telescopic and less panoramic. So this is gonna be the new camera here. Now the active camera, it's always recognizable by the icon, which is highlighted of the little green camera. So this is gonna be my new camera. And any camera can become a VRAY physical camera. Just go down, activate the physical camera, and you can see already the change of the lighting. So why? Because the physical camera needs to be adjusted, well, not here. So you can see the clipping here won't work. And also the fob now is not accessible. So now we need to go directly in the camera properties, and we can adjust the field of view, focal length. We can either choose to work with the focal length or the field of view, depending on the settings we do here. Also the type of camera, if it's going to be a still render camera or a movie camera. So there you go. So this is all the part concerning VRAY. Now, before we move on, just a little bit of theory about what happens in real cameras. So essentially, we work with the aperture or the shutter speed. Now, they both work with the opening of your camera. So the more the camera is open, the more the shutter is open, and the more light will go through. So we have these three parameters: ISO, and then we have aperture, and then shutter speed, that will influence these effects: the brightness of the scene, and the depth of field, which is focus and non-in focus, and also the motion blur. Now, as for any other setting, you can find more information in the manual, And if you go in the section about the physical camera in the manual,